on the occasion of the launch of a really absolutely new watch, something that never existed before, I have the pleasure to talk to Peter Stas, who is now the president of the Frederique Constant Group. Is this correct, Peter?
That's correct. Nice to be here.
Yeah, Peter, you're launching a watch that has not existed before. So you're combining two things you're doing pretty well at Frederique Constant, in-house movement and smartwatch technology, and you call the piece hybrid. So can you tell me about that hybrid watch we are going to see in a couple of hours officially now?
Okay. Well, as you remember, exactly 3 years ago,
I do.
We introduced the horological smartwatch.
Yeah.
We had at the time also here in the US press conference, but then it was in San Francisco, where we came for the first time with a smartwatch that displayed the connected information by hand. So it had a normal dial. It still looked like a beautiful Swiss watch. So over the years, we have sold, meanwhile, about 50,000 of these watches. But we had from time to time customers that asked, why don't you have this in a mechanical version? And of course, we said, yeah, that's not possible. We are now having this electronic version. But of course, coming back with this information to our manufacturer, we discussed with the team that creates the manufacturer calibers, would it be possible to integrate the electronic components and finally make an automatic movement with these smart functions. And then in close collaboration with MMT, we worked for almost 2 years intensively to integrate the electronics into one of our manufacturer calibers, and which was actually a big step, because first of all, there is hardly any place in the caliber, and we needed to have these individual parts fit in the caliber. But even worse was the situation with magnetism created by the electronic components. So we finally also settled on a shielding around certain elements, on which we have also a patent pending.
Have you been able to go further in miniaturization of the components after the first watch? If we look back to the first piece you have been launching 3 years ago, are these components now smaller than those who have been used in the beginning?
Yes, some components are smaller. If we look at the hybrid manufacturer, first of all, you will see actually in one of the photos in the press kit that the form of the PCB is rather bizarre, because it takes literally the minimum space available in the caliber. So we have been able to reduce the surface of the PCB. Another element that's reduced in size is the cell, the rechargeable cell element, because we've chosen for this version to have like really a buffer cell, which is smaller than on the electronic version, where we have a battery that lasts for up to 4 years on some models. Most of them are 2 years. But for the hybrid, we've chosen a smaller cell and in a rechargeable version.
How long is it lasting, this little cell? How long is it offering to the device energy so it works?
So typically a mechanical caliber has like 42 hours, 44 hours. We even working on some of them where we up to 52 hours. And on the electronic part, on the smartwatch functions, we are now at around 8 days. So well beyond the mechanical longevity or mechanical time that the movement continues to run.
So once you have the watch, you are linking it to your smartphone, you're pairing it by Bluetooth, and then what are the things you can do with? Is it sleep tracking, your activity tracker, are all these functions again integrated or more or less?
Well, first of all, we have one here. Maybe I'll take it in the hand and quickly show you. So, of course, we see the mechanical caliber on the back, like a manufacturer watch. And in fact, from the outside, you will not even know that this is also a smartwatch.
Yeah, you have to look very close.
To very close, but even if you look close, you will not notice, because we really decided to go for still that beautiful Swiss piece. But if you look closely, you will notice at 12 o'clock a special counter. So in the scale of the small counter, we have the 24 hours with day-night indication, and also a scale of 1 to 100. So here we can, with the hand, show, for example, 24 hours second time zone.
Okay.
So you'll have that on the outer
So it will synchronize with your smartphone.
Yes, on the app you can set, actually on the pusher you see here at 10 o'clock, you can set functions. So for example, you can decide, I want to see full time 24 hours, whether it's day or night. You can also decide to put a second time zone there from the world timer table, and have, for example, here the Geneva time, and now in New York have the local time. So that's one area, the more horological functions. And then on the 0 to 100 scale, we can have indeed activity. We can have...
You set the goal, and then from 0 to 100 you will know how far you have gone, or if you have achieved your goals.
The percentage you
Percentage,
reach.
yeah.
And same for sleep. But we also have functions here like a small stopwatch. You can run the stopwatch there. You can run also, you can set on your iPhone, I would like to log a workout, or if you walk around here in New York and you want to go downtown and you would like to measure how long that takes, and see in the app, hey, I walked the past 25 minutes down there. You literally set that one time on the app. That always one click means I start the logging of a run or a walk, for example. So you have a lot of flexibility, and the customer has full transparency to be able to set the functions he likes on the crown. So it can be the permanent view on that counter, but also the one press view and the double press view. So there's a lot there to put.
And working both with the iPhone and all Android devices, of course.
Absolutely, same as with the other horological smartwatches. We have both the app on the App Store for iPhones, and also on Google Play for the Android environment. So it's fully transparent.
Coming with it, I've seen already the device where you mount the watch either to rewind it and to charge the smartwatch component. So you have been developing a kind of a small little box that comes with the watch, where you can put the watch in and it will be wound. It's a winder.
It's a watch winder.
Watch winder that has been programmed specifically to the caliber, as Pim, your master watchmaker, explained me, and he said, okay, so much turns to left and to right, and then it will be fully wound, and in the same time it charges. Correct.
Yeah. So we really have the winder rotator box. Like you have them typically for mechanical watches if you want to keep them running. Has also this charge element, which in fact makes contact both on the movement itself, on the crowns or the case itself, and then you see a very small contact there. Again, chosen. If I would not have mentioned it, you would not have noticed, because again we really kept here the view and the appearance and the design of a typical manufacturer Frederique Constant piece.
There are how many executions you are starting with? These 3 plus?
Yeah, we finally decided to go for 4 dial versions. So we have the ones, the 3 that are here, and when we present tonight, you also see one with the blue dial, which is very beautiful as well.
What are your expectations if you launch such a piece? You have been selling 50,000 real smartwatches that looked like. Now you're really doing it perfectly, in a sense. You're offering a mechanical movement, Swiss traditional watchmaking, and combining it with a smartwatch function. What are your expectations? How many pieces you're planning, or what are your plans? How much? How big do you think is the market? Let's say like this.
I think, we always more look like, okay, where are we comfortable with on what we are going to sell in year 1? I went to this beautiful course at an incubator with young startups again, and there they showed again a very interesting analysis that the real successful entrepreneurs don't have a plan what will happen in 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
They go step by step, they see what works, and they build from there. And actually that resonates very much. And very much if we look back at the history of Frederique Constant, people asking us, do you have a business plan? Did you know you were going to go where you are now? And I always say, no, I'm sorry, but it was not like that. But now I learn actually that that's normal.
Yeah.
So in this case, to give an answer here, we have 3,000 pieces in production. You know, we have about 3,000 points of sale. So we really said, okay, if 2/3 are going to buy one, that means 2,000 pieces. We have another 1,000 for replacement. So we go with that. I can tell you that already we showed it in November to our distributors, and we have already about 2,000 pieces on order. So it seems that seems to be good.
I just wanted to say, I think you're underestimating the market a little bit. The price of the watch will be around.
They're around 3,000 euro.
3,000 euros. You get a mechanical wristwatch, including a smartwatch function. And the charger rotator, and the app, of course.
And we have not yet talked about the most interesting, to some people, or at least the most revolutionary part. We have not talked about the analytics inside the watch.
Of course.
So we just talked about the smart functions, which were really more the more traditional smartwatch functions. But what we really build in here is also the electronics and the algorithm to measure the health of the caliber itself.
Oh.
So it measures 1 time per night. We've programmed it like that. It will really measure the rate, the amplitude, and the beat error. And one of the screens in the app gives really the watch enthusiast a real view on how the mechanical caliber is functioning, also over time. And we have created a coach around that as well, that if after some time the oil starts to dry in, or if the watch has been exposed to a big shock, that he will be able to see that, and we will be able to communicate with him, because that's one of the advantages we have.
Very cool. Like interactive to your to the buyer of a mechanical watch. Very
absolutely, and that's
very
absolutely
cool.
A world's,
but you're also challenging yourself a little bit in your watchmakers, because those calibers need to be really set perfectly and being delivered in a perfect way.
And stay good.
And stay good, yeah.
Yeah, listen, like salespeople get targets. It means also
your watchmakers get
measured upon real figures. Here also we will have the real data.
Thinking about this feature, you can really go into some fantastic developments in the future. You could display the performance of all the watches on the market, how good they perform in a way up to 100%. You can say, okay, all my mechanical smartwatches sold perform at 96-97% or something like this.
Absolutely. One of the advantages is really now then talk a little bit more long term, what I see. First of all, the watch remains the best, shall we say, tool to measure the body. We see this also very clearly now with the Apple Watch 3, where they really measure in a more meaningful way the health of a person. That's really a road which I feel is going to make this whole category even stronger than it already is per today. But the other is really something which is very particular for the watch industry. You know the channel, we have distributors, whether it's an internal filiale or an external distributor, and then we have the retailers. Watches go in there, and we do not always know if they're already sold to the final customer. And we also don't know then really the details about the customer. this type of product, and we've seen that with the 50,000 watches we've sold, we really know when they are sold, when they start to be paired. Typically people, they leave their basic information, and it's really used only for statistical analysis. And so we get a much better view of our type of customer, how our customer is wearing our watches. And this also is a big benefit to a watch company like us, which typically has otherwise a much longer channel and does not really have the same type of feedback on which designs are working well and which ones are taking a little bit longer to sell. So those two advantages, that's where we now that we have built up more data, start to see more and more benefits of this product.
And by offering updates to the application, you can then maybe integrate further functions or further functionality to the watch.
Absolutely.
So it's an interactive way of communicating with a mechanical wristwatch.
Yeah.
That was never the case before.
Absolutely. So we have now also for that watch enthusiast that says, "Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
But I would like it in a mechanical watch."
Yeah, very cool.
We have now also this offer.
Okay. When will the watch come to the market? So when are you delivering the watches to your retailers?
We will introduce the watch now, and then we have like a follow-up also at Basel, and then right after Basel we will start to deliver to the stores.
And once again, 3,000 and
3,000, I believe €200 for the steel version.
3,200. Amazing.
It depends a little bit on the tax situation per country.
Okay.
What I've not yet mentioned is really what also this category means already for Frederique Constant. So last year we produced and sold around 153,000 watches.
In total?
In total.
Okay, that's good to know, because some people might not know the size of a Frederique Constant. Okay.
So 12% revenue-wise is already represented by this horological smartwatch category. And we see year after year that this is going up. Now we come again here with this hybrid manufacturer. You know our sister brand in the group for
Alpina.
Alpina. For Alpina, the horological smartwatches is already over 20% of our revenue that we have annually. And there we have a very interesting introduction announced in Basel, which will only push this up later.
We'll talk later about that. Peter, thank you very much. Congratulations for the hybrid watch. Protecting hybrid, I think, is impossible. So the name is not protected for you or for Frederique Constant.
No.
I imagine it's impossible to protect the...
Listen, we have the word hybrid. We looked at this. It's used in the car industry.
Yeah, it's used so widely.
So hybrid manufacturer. We do have, however, a patent pending on the integration of some of the mechanical and electronic parts, including
to protect
the shielding.
Yeah.
So there is some protection there. And for the rest, in my opinion, the best protection comes from market success and continuing to innovate.
Wow. Thank you very much, Peter Stas, for presenting me the hybrid watch, and good luck. And I'm curious to see how, if you were right with your 2,000 prediction, 3,000, we will see.
We can always increase production.
You will have to, I'm sure. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.